What is the most common enemy weapon type in Fire Emblem? It depends on the game. Pretty heavily depends on the game. Like, lances are the most common weapon type in, like, Fire Emblem 7. For enemies. Because, like, soldier is the basic fodder. There's cavaliers that have lances, stuff like that. But then you look at, like, Fire Emblem 1, and it's probably axes and lances, depending on the map. Like, you're either in axe country or you're in lance country. In genealogy, it's probably swords or lances, because just a lot of classes have access to both of them. It sucks that soldiers don't promote in Fates. Well, it's not a... They don't promote because it's not a player class. Like, I know you can capture enemy units, but the class was not designed around being used by players, right? The soldiers in Fates serve the same purpose as soldiers in Fire Emblem 6, 7, and 8, in that they are meant to be, like, specifically a fodder unit, right? Arrow formation. How terrifying. They're gonna deal effective damage to all my flyers because they're flying in an arrow formation. They can learn the DLC skills like Aether, which is funny. Yeah, I saw that video too. Fuck, what's his name? The guy with the cord is his profile picture. Jimmy FE. I saw that Jimmy FE video too. That's a throwback. That is a video I saw a long ass time ago. I'm assuming that's where you're getting this from, if I'm being for real, for real. You ever, like, have a conversation with someone and you're like, yep, I've seen that YouTube video too. That's sort of where I'm at right now with that. So you go here. Dancerini. I wanted to try that out myself. I mean, they don't have, like, class skills associated with them. I know a lot of people love the soldier skill, but I'll be honest, or the, not skill, class. I know a lot of people love the soldier class, but I'll be honest, it feels like sort of the ultimate Fire Emblem hipster class. I think people like playable soldiers because they're rare. And because of that, you get so much, like, soldier bias around the shittiest units imaginable getting hyped up as, like, oh my god, this is the coolest thing since sliced bread. Nephany, Path of Radiance, is the biggest beneficiary, because she not only gets playable soldier bias, but she also gets cute girl bias. A lot of people like her as, like, the country bumpkin, right? And she gets gay shipping bias, because Heather has a crush on Nephany in, like, one line of dialogue in Radiant Dawn, so the shippers are like, these are the best fucking written characters in all of literature, therefore the best units. Because people often conflate a character I like with a unit who is very strong. And, like, you know, I think a similar thing happens with the capturable units in Fates in general, because it's rare to get access to unnamed generics. You know, people meme about the Shadow Dragon ones, but the Shadow Dragon ones are so obviously bad that people cannot trick themselves into believing these units are, like, god tier. But the Fates captures have just enough things that make them stand out from, like, garbage tier that people will bend over backwards to convince themselves, like, no, this is actually the greatest unit in the game. Why would I bother training Niles? Or, no, why would I bother training Kaze when instead I could just have Niles capture a Grizzly Wound Master Ninja with significantly worse stats than Kaze? But, like, then people make that argument unironically, right? Rallyman. Yeah, I mean, the argument is like, oh, Rallyman comes for free. If I just have said leave and stand on the gate, maybe that'll trick them into attacking me? Because he clearly has too much avoid, right? Like, that's what's going on? It's a hack that lets you capture every enemy in Fates. Oh yeah, like, going beyond the generics, the bosses? The funniest thing to me is the bosses who get hyped up as, like, capture this boss. When often, like, not always, but often, because it's the paralog bosses, right? Often they're like, oh, they're actually outclassed by someone on their join map. We don't want to fight. They're lovers, not fighters. What if I give him slightly less avoid by, like, leaving here, right? They still only have 8 hit. This is actually so sad. He's just too good. He's just too good. No one talks about Daniela. Yeah, because Strategist is a bad class. Strategist is a bad class. She has mediocre-ass stats. I say this as someone who, like, I have the same name as her, right? I should be invested in this unit. But Strategist is a bad class, she has mediocre stats, and her only skill is Grizzly Wound on Birth Route. The game where you do most of your combat on enemy phase. No, it's not Grizzly Wound. What is it, Poison Strike? What does Daniela have? She has a player phase skill. But she's like the most nothing burger. Like, if you want to capture someone on that, also, because she's a high-res unit, like, good luck, Orochi, smiley face. If you want to capture someone on that map, capture, like, the paladins, right? Capture the generals who have really high defense and are therefore, like, relevant to the birthright meta. Not super relevant, but, like, they do something. Capture paladins because they have high movement. Or just, like, capture the Bolt Axe Berserker on that map so you can get Rally Strength. Because, like, that's why people capture Lloyd and Lewin in Kana's Paralog. Is Rally Strength. Your only other route to Rally Strength is Shura, I think? And obviously Corrin. Or the other captures, because there's a Berserker in Shiro's Paralog, I believe, the boss. She has Savage Blow. Okay. Oh, hey, he married Patty. Nice. Who married Patty? Shannon. And Shannon is a unit that doesn't need much gold, so now he can, like, give the gold to Patty to enable my staff units. Look at the tag team of Bow Bros. Lester and Johalvi are helping each other out. Her offensive growths are pretty decent. 70% magic and 55% speed are nuts. She's also a promoted unit who joins after Scarlet and Ryoma, and she is not bulky and she is not in a particularly good class. Like, I don't really know what there is to talk about. At the point in the game she joins, you know, joins in quotation marks, at the point in the game that you are able to capture her, you've just gotten one enemy phase god for free. You've probably trained up a couple of others. You know, pick your poison. Basically any training project in Birthright. You're done doing stuff on player phase for the most part. Like, I know it sounds super reductive, but this is just kind of how Birthright works once you enter the mid-game. So, like, the reason people don't talk about her is the same reason people don't talk about, you know, Senno. Although I got a weird number of comments on my captures video about how, like, Senno is actually really good. And I think that has to be the soldier effect, right? Where Apothecary is just a rare class, especially if you mostly play Conquest. But even in Birthright and Rev, it's, like, pretty rare. Like, relatively rare. And it's unique. Apothecary doesn't exist in other Fire Emblem games, so people latch on to the uniqueness. Oh, so hi, Lowface. The other thing, I actually want to see, because you mentioned Daniela's growths, but, like, are her bases even any good? BR Daniela. Because, like, I don't think they are. BR Daniela. Yeah, she has 14 magic base. So sure, that 70% magic growth is cool. But, like, a level 5 Diviner Orochi has 9 magic base. Daniela is 26 for the purpose of the Fates experience formula. She's considered to be a 26 promoted unit. So, really high growths. It's Corel all over again. Really high growths. Well, in 2 stats. Well, in 1 stat. Because let's be honest, 55% speed, that's fine. But it's not what I would call high at this point, right? I guess I would give this comparison, right? Hana. Birthright Hana has a 75% speed growth. Sorry, a 75% strength... No, 75% speed growth and a 65% strength growth. And Hana is not considered a particularly good unit. And Hana gets levels a heck of a lot faster than Daniela. And joins much earlier and therefore is able to be, like, trained up during Mozu's paralogue, trained up on the stationary armor knights in Chapter 7 that are basically designed for her because you get an armor slayer. Trained up against the tons of stationary enemies in Chapter 8, the desert map. Like, in 0% growths, we got Hana to, like, level 15 or something by babying her. Because, like, she just exists at a point in the game where she can be, and we thought it would be funny. You're not wrong. Sakura is probably a better strategist. Yeah, with Jacob marriage, yeah. But even then, like, I think bulk is so much more important than offense in the mid-game of Rev. Because you just get wave upon wave upon wave of reinforcements. Honestly, I mean, there's a reason everyone says, like, Rinka's the best mage in... I said Rev, I meant Birthright. Birthright just shuffles wave upon wave upon wave. Like, it's that one last promise map, right? Why don't you want to play with Yo Javier? He wants to be your friend.